In a surprising turn of events, McLaren launched their 2024 car last night. Sort of. I want to make this absolutely clear. This is not their actual car. This is just a livery launch and it came out of nowhere. If it looks remarkably similar to last year's car, that's because it is. McLaren still have their regularly scheduled release for the 14th of February, the same day as Mercedes, where presumably we will see their actual 2024 car, but teams are often quite coy on showing too much. So what do we think of the livery? Well, I actually quite like it. First thing you'll notice, especially if we put it side by side with last year's car, there's no more blue. It's now only papaya and black, except for a small amount of blue on the DP World sponsor on the side. The only thing I really didn't like from last year's cars was all of the exposed carbon that nearly all of the teams utilised to save weight. It seems that's going to carry on here, which is a shame, but I do like the style, not so much the carbon. Even if teams have their weight under control now, by putting less into the paint, it means they can distribute that weight around the car better. The Mercedes last year looked especially rough when you were viewing it close up with all the exposed carbon. I didn't like that at all. I did notice as well that OKX, the cryptocurrency website, is seemingly now the SidePod sponsor. Last year it was predominantly Velo, who I believe distribute tobacco-free nicotine pouches. Velo is still on the car, just a smaller spot. Depending on where they were in the country and what liveries they had, this did flip-flop around a little bit though. My one gripe with the livery is the hard to see chrome numbers. They're a little bit difficult to see on these images. Hopefully when it's out on track, that will be a little bit easier and they'll just pop. Some people may also remember the Triple Crown livery from earlier in the 2023 season. It's been noted that this livery bears a striking resemblance to that. Not in the colours obviously, but in the actual design. And it does seem that they've taken some design cues from it. It's also a bit of a nod to the liveries of old. Those were the days. Andrea Stella also seems confident in the new car. Speaking to motorsport.com after the launch, he said, "So far, I have to say, we don't see any diminishing returns. This obviously will have to be proven once we put the car on the ground. But when it comes to the wind tunnel development, we see the gradient we established last year that led to the Austria development and then the Singapore development. It seems like we can maintain it. So that's where I would expect the launch of the car to be at the start of the season." It seems like McLaren are making really good progress with their new car, building upon what they did last year. Obviously right now we don't know the progress that Red Bull have made, or Mercedes, or Ferrari, but McLaren ended the season in a good spot with that car. So if they can make good returns, I could see them being a real title contender this year coming up. Now, I will be covering the real car launch when that launches next month. So hopefully we'll see the actual car. I'll see you in the next one.